I spent the past week rotting in bed. At first, it was because I had a fixation with Animal Crossing, so I was like so into that. But then I started experiencing other physical ailments that kept me in bed, such as intense period cramps that I'm still feeling the lingering effects of, and dermatitis on my lips, like a super cracked nostril because I kept on picking it. So there's just so many things that I am physically healing through, and I realized that I do not want to heal through it anymore with digital consumption because I don't think that it's really helping. And I feel like this long break from being mindful and being present with the outside world has highlighted how much I actually prefer that type of stimulus compared to anything else, no matter how entertaining or fun or bright, loud the digital world can be. How my soul literally just needs real life stuff. Like, I need to touch leaves, I need to touch flowers, I need to smell air. Every time I fall into like this deep cave of consumption and escaping, this lesson that appears afterwards is getting louder and louder as the cycle continues. And that I really don't want this, that this is not how I want to spend my time. This feels so good. This feels so much better than holding that freaking switch. I'm mad at that switch, but I know that it was my own decision to let it get that far. I forgot how good it feels to breathe the fresh air outside and to look at the grass sway in the wind or to look at the sun shadows dance across my yard. Oh my god, guys, Maple is blooming. I think this is a maple tree, so I call her Maple. But she's blooming. This is the first time I'm seeing the leaves pop up this year. I'm glad I'm getting to witness this. Wait. Oh, that is so pretty. Like me stepping on the roots of my tree, me spending time out in my yard was me stepping back into my own roots, remembering what really matters. I've been loving wearing these earplugs. These are by Loops, not sponsored, but I've been testing these out for the past 2 months and I have grown to love them because I've realized I wasn't a big earplugs person at all, but I've realized that when I wear earplugs, I could actually hear my breath more and hear the outside stimulus less. And something about that, especially when I'm feeling extra sensitive or I don't have the capacity to take everything in that day, just hearing my breath more is so regulating. I was able to tend to my body by witnessing what was arising instead of running away from it through consumption. And even though physically I might have not healed that much in that moment, I felt like I was starting to befriend myself again. This book is Your True Home, The Everyday Wisdom of Thich Nhat Hanh. I want to share number 9. It's titled, I Have Arrived. We believe that happiness is possible only in the future. That is why the practice of I have arrived is very important. The realization that we have already arrived, that we don't have to travel any further, that we are already here, can give us peace and joy. The conditions for our happiness are already sufficient. We only need to allow ourselves to be in the present moment, and we will be able to touch them. And why I feel like that's so impactful is because reminding ourselves every time we change environments that we have arrived will make it a ritual for us to ground back into the present moment. Because I feel like us reaching for our phones, that happens as maybe a comfort thing, because no matter where we are, no matter how far we travel from home, once we unlock our phone, we know what to expect, so it could just be a habit. I think there's another term that Thich Nhat Hanh coined, or maybe not, but I heard it from a video where Thich Nhat Hanh was talking about habit energy, and he was using the term habit energy as an example that some people, when they're in an unhappy relationship and that they initiate a breakup, or that they divorce their partner, that they think that they'll find happiness after that decision, but then their own habit energy of creating those circumstances of that unhealthy relationship hasn't changed. So they immediately get into a relationship with a new person, and because their own habit energy hasn't changed, they actually create the same exact circumstances that brought them and the other person suffering with the new person. And this habit energy could literally apply to anything in life. Picking up our phone is a habit energy. Villainizing other people is a habit energy. Not making a priority to regulate and escape is a habit energy. I feel like the term habit energy is so powerful because it actually personifies, the root of the issue. Because yeah, we know it's a habit, yeah, we know that we lack discipline, but actually viewing it as habit energy, that's our habit energy that we need to work with, I feel like kind of creates more distance with the thing that we're trying to work with and ourselves, and realizing that we are whole, we are good, we are truly pure, and what we need to work on is our habit energy. So I feel like just it creates a little bit more distance where there's less shame and guilt with whatever habit that we're trying to let go of. For me, I'm really trying to let go of my habit energy of reaching for my phone during the liminal space of my day, because I am not the type to consume social media anymore. I don't have it on my phone. I don't have apps on my phone. When I open my phone, I'm literally opening the Gmail app, or I'm opening Eventbrite. I'm opening, like, sometimes I'll reinstall DoorDash. So that's my habit energy of still using my phone as a source of dopamine, even though it's not necessarily with social media for me. And I feel like I'm so close. I'm so close to just like really relinquishing my phone usage as a whole. It's just like a little bit of this habit energy is keeping me stuck here. Sometimes I would feel this deeper sense of shame or guilt that I wasn't present when I was having an experience, and I would be hard on myself about it, because that experience is a time and a place that I'll never be able to get back. Even in my memories, I won't be able to recall it precisely because I was so distracted. But viewing my phone usage as something that maybe I do to comfort myself, it opens the rhetorical question of, do I feel safe? Where am I trying to go? Am I okay? What do I need to face? During my outing out, I had this light bulb moment that it's not only when we get to a destination when we could say I have arrived, but it's actually for every second of our lives. Every second of our lives, we have arrived. We have arrived. We have arrived. We have arrived. Here and now, we have arrived. I don't think the answer is to stay completely offline, because that is us depriving ourselves of the good that comes with the internet, that comes with social media. There is so much good and power and positive influence possible. I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle, and it's more complex that way, but it's probably more genuine for every individual. Reflecting on what type of content do we really want to consume? Do we really want those seeds of influence planted within us and water? And I think that's why, for me, naturally over time, I've stopped watching mainstream content, because I realized that the values of living that matter the most to me aren't on that side of the internet. And I have been developing my very specific taste in consumption. That if I will consume, if I will even escape, it better be good for me still. Because I only have this one life. I only have this one body, this one mind, this one heart. It better be good for me still. I will say though that I think in general, watching content like TV shows, movies, even other long form content, it doesn't really do it for me anymore. Because the other week I was watching the second half of Bridgerton, and usually past me would have been so excited, but the feeling that I was left with after I finished the show was that it was just another plot, another storyline that rose emotions within me, and those emotions came to an end. And now I'm back at the baseline of however I felt before I started watching the show. So, with that observation, I canceled my Netflix subscription because I did not want to pay $250 a year just to encourage a relationship with content consumption that did not resonate with me. I still have my Spotify subscription because I do enjoy listening to music and podcasts and audiobooks, but maybe one day I'll reach a point where I'll deactivate that as well. There may be questions on what do you do then if you don't consume? What do you do during the liminal space? And nowadays I'm learning how to be bored. Really, no matter how cliche that sounds, I'm learning how to sit with myself and maybe pick up a creative physical hobby like room decoring or making nut butter. I mean, the more I sit on this topic, actually, I don't feel like I have enough hours in the day to do all the things that I would like that don't even involve content consumption. I'm really excited about the little knickknacks that I put in my bathroom because I think out of all of the rooms, the bathroom is probably my least favorite room because of just like the decor, the wallpaper, but it doesn't really make sense for me to like intensely renovate it. So a solution is little art pieces that remind me. The 30 minutes to an hour that I could watch a show, that's time that I could be spending with Cheddar, playing with him and brushing his teeth thoroughly and teaching him a new trick. I mean, there's just so much that I would rather do than to waste my time. And my dad used to say, not used to, but all the time, he would say gaming is a waste of time. And I would get so upset at him. I'm like, let me live life, let me chill. You know, when life gets overwhelming, I need this. But now I'm starting to understand what he means. That it is kind of a waste of time if there are other things that could fill our cup up. Like, can we give our parents a call instead of watching that show? Can we make a scrumptious home-cooked meal for tomorrow? Can we stretch with some ambient music in the background? You know, like there are so many things that I haven't been doing because of this hobby of watching content, but content that does align with my personal values. I hold dear to my heart. Like the Tara Brach podcast that I was showing you guys before. Basically content that softens my heart and that reminds me of the impermanence of life and how happiness isn't outside of ourselves. That's the content that I want to watch because that is what I want to grow inside of me. But as I've become more specific with the things that I watch, I'm also finding that I don't need to watch as much anymore. That I'm quite happy being intentional, even within the intentional niche of content that I choose to watch. That just because I found a podcast or a show or a book that does align with my values, it doesn't mean that I need to consume it. Maybe one day, if I'm feeling up for it, one day I could get to it, but probably not. And I like that it's a probably not. Because there are other things in life in person that do need tending to.